Hi, my name is Aya. You're watching Aya Reads, and I'm here to talk about my most anticipated June new releases. I have 30 books to talk about, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with the synopses of each and every single book. I will have every book linked in the description for you, so you can check out the Goodreads description for each and every book. I will split this up into two different categories. The first book will be standalones or first books in series, and the second part will be sequels. And especially with the sequels, I'm barely going to speak about the sequels because I figured if you're interested in a sequel, you already know what the series is about. As always with these videos, I'm not necessarily going to be reading every single book on this list. I mainly do these videos to get some of these books on your radar. Once again, as always, I will talk about these books in order of publication date in the categories. So the first one will be in order of publication date for the standalones and first books in series, and then the sequels will also be in order of publication date. Let's get started with the first book, which is Crossroads by Devney Perry. So this is her newest series. So this is once again a small town romance, and this is a second chance romance. Basically, you follow this girl. She met West Haven when she was 8 years old, and okay, actually I'm gonna actually read out the first part of the synopsis because I think it explains it perfectly. So I met West Haven when I was 8 years old. He taught me to play poker when I was 9, and we made paper airplanes together when I was 11. He kissed me when I was 16. He was the best part of my family's summer vacations to Montana. He was the boy who stole my heart. I was 23 when life ripped us apart. And now years later, she's back and he doesn't want her there, but of course they're gonna fall in love. I really love this cover. I haven't read Devney Perry yet, and the second book also comes out in 2024, October. So she's also one of those authors that pumps out books. So I feel like I need to start with one of her new release series and try to keep up. So very excited about this one. Next, another book that comes out on June 4th is, did I say Crossroad comes out on June 4th? Another book that comes out on June 4th is Pardon My Frenchie by Farah Roshan. Okay, so this sounds very fun. So basically you follow Ashanti, who has a dog boarding business, Barkingham Palace. And she wants to expand her empire with a doggy bake shop, but the building she has her eye on actually has been sold to the surly grandson of one of her favorite customers. He doesn't like dogs and he barely likes people, but he has taken custody of his grandmother's poodle. Now actually her dog and his dog became a viral sensation because they kind of are falling in love and they have to interact because of that. The cover is very cute. I love that this involves dogs heavily, and it already sounds very fun. Match Me If You Can by Swati Hegde. I'm not sure. So this is about a woman who writes for this magazine in Mumbai, and she is in charge of like matchmaking, I'm pretty sure. He lives in the US and he's always been like a part of her family, but she's always had a crush on him and it's their romance. The cover is already very beautiful to me. Like I love the purple and orange. It's such a beautiful, beautiful cover. And of course, I love the fact that this one takes place in a different country than what we normally see. Barely Even Friends by May Bennett also comes out on June 4th. This book really reminds me of a Tessa Dare novel, even though this is not a historical romance. Let me actually look up which one. Romancing the Duke, because this is also like a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So she has been offered a job as a lead contractor on the restoration of this like mysterious estate. So I already love this because obviously that is usually a job that women don't normally have. But so she's ready to make a name in this male-dominated industry. But what she doesn't know actually is that this estate is already occupied, and it's occupied by Oliver Killington. He's injured after a traumatic car accident left his parents dead and him injured. So now they kind of have to work together. So this, once again, like it's pitched as a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but also like her going into this estate, trying to renovate it while somebody else is already occupying it, very much gives me Romancing the Duke vibe. So very excited about this one. I really love the cover too. The Irish Goodbye by Amy Ewing also comes out on June 4th. So this is about a woman who used to be very successful as a renowned street photographer with a massive social media influence, but everything came to a stop when her father died, and now she's looking for a change of scenery. So she's going to Ireland trying to find that, and there she's constantly bumping into this grumpy local who is not interested in the American tourist. This is very cute. Next is actually a next gen series which also comes out on June 4th. It's All My Kisses for You by Monica Murphy. So this is the next generations of the Lancasters, and you follow the daughter of Crew and Wen from A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. So that is a series that I've not started yet, but it is very high up on my TBR. So this one, you follow Willow. She's perfect, she's very popular, and she's a good girl, and she obviously falls in love with the bad boy. So yeah, if you really love the Lancaster Prep series, then definitely check this one out. There's a lot of books that come out on June 4th, by the way. Another book that comes out on June 4th is Birding with Benefits by Sarah T. Dubb. This has a very interesting premise. So this is about a newly divorced empty nester, so it's an older heroine. She's getting roped into fake dating this bird watcher, which once again, like I said, very interesting premise. Like I've never read like a book about a bird watcher or like an empty nester, so that is why this one is very intriguing to me. And did I already say it's fake dating? If not, you should know. Another book that comes out on June 4th is 7 Summer Weekends by Jane L. Rosen. Now that I look at the cover, is this a sequel? I think it is, because this takes place on Fire Island, and the first book apparently is called On Fire Island, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So she's from this big city, but then all of a sudden her aunt dies and leaves her this property at this Fire Island, and she's debating whether or not she should sell. But this is also like a place where 7 weekends in the year, guests come to stay at this place, and they want to persuade her not to sell. And then this is her romance with her grumpy next door neighbor. So once again, a dog apparently is involved. Another one that comes out on June 4th is Just Some Stupid Love Story by Kathleen Doyle. And this is a romance between a Hollywood rom-com writer and a divorce lawyer. So we've seen this premise before where it's like a romance author and a divorce lawyer. I always like those because one is very obviously believes in love and the other one is jaded because of all the divorces that they've been involved in. This is another second chance romance because they used to be a couple in high school, and now at their reunion, they make a deal where obviously one believes in love and the other one doesn't. And they make a deal that at their next reunion, between now and their next reunion, they have to observe 5 couples and to see which one of them is right. And then they will share their findings at the next reunion. But obviously they're gonna fall in love. Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan is the last one that comes out on June 4th. So this is about a woman whose life basically has fallen apart. Her mom died, her husband left her. So she's looking forward to having this free summer, and then one day her dog pees on this man, and then it's their romance. June 11th is a book that I'm very, very much looking forward to, and it's Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. So this is actually Ali's second book of the year, and this is another STEM romance, obviously. And this is about these two kind of rivaling colleagues. Basically, she's a biotech engineer and he wants to buy this company, and they basically want different things for the company. So that's where like the rivaling thing comes in. Of course, they're gonna fall in love. I have loved every single Ali Hazel book I've read, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love this one too. Another book that comes out on June 11th is The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. So this is, once again, another screenwriter, a rom-com screenwriter, and she's asked to rewrite a script for one of her screenwriting heroes. He's not interested in writing with her, and he's not really interested in the script either. But they're gonna fall in love, obviously. Her father also needs full-time care, so that's like a side plot too. I have not read a Catherine Center yet, so maybe this will be my first one. Another book that comes out on June 11th sounds like a very fun one. It's called Looking for a Sign by Susie Dumond, I think. So this is about a woman who's 29 and she wants to find a girlfriend, settle down. So she decides to date someone from a different horoscope sign to try and find her one true love. This sounds fun. So this is obviously going to be a female-female romance, but also, I don't know, for some reason I'm very intrigued by astrology. It's not like I'm a pretty rational person, and I don't know if I really believe in that, but I always find it fun to read about it. So, especially to read about it in a book. Another female-female romance is Everyone I Kissed Since You Got Famous by May Marvel, and this one actually also comes out on June 11th. Basically, they were high school friends. They almost were a thing, but then one of them became famous, like a famous actress, I think. And then the other one actually became a famous online because she had a goal for herself where she was gonna kiss 2 different people in a week, every single week. And then once the famous person comes back, they continue, I think, where they left off before she left. So this sounds cute. On June 14th, Bourbon and Lies by Victoria Wilder comes out. Mainly this is on here because of this beautiful, beautiful cover. So this is, I believe, a cowboy romance, and he used to be a cop, and then this woman shows up who he knows she's running from something, and she's telling him lies. And now she's working at his distillery, living in his guest house, calling him cowboy, and skinny dipping at his horse trough. This reminds me a little bit of Heartless. It sounds very hot, but very sweet too. Sexy and dangerous. Once again, this has a beautiful, beautiful cover, so hopefully the inside is just as beautiful as the outside. On June 18th, The Art of Catching Feelings by Alicia Thompson comes out. Once again, a very beautiful cover. I really love these retro covers that some romance authors are doing nowadays. So this is a baseball romance, and Daphne is going to this baseball game, and some people are heckling the baseball player, and she decides to join in because baseball's not really her thing. And then she feels bad, so she decides to DM said baseball player, saying that she's sorry that he went through that, but she never really reveals who she actually is. And then she actually gets hired by the club, and he starts to fall in love with both her in real life and the person he's DMing. He doesn't know it's the same person, but he obviously does know that she's the one that was heckling him in real life. But once he sees her in real life, when she works for the club, he does know that she's the heckler. Like, she never really reveals who she is, so obviously you can tell where the third act conflict comes in. This sounds cute. I know Bookables read this and really enjoyed it, and I think that is why this is on the list for me, but mainly it's the cover. It's very beautiful. On June 18th, One Star Romance by Laura Hankin comes in. So this is a very interesting premise. Basically, she's an author, and he wrote a 1-star review for one of her romance books, but then their best friends marry each other, so they get involved in each other's life, and they see each other throughout the years because of their friends. So they are there for their wedding, but also once they have a child, stuff like that, and it's their romance. This sounds very interesting. Under Your Spell by Laura Wood comes out on June 20th. So this is a romance between the daughter of an aging rock star and a off-limits rock star. She claims that she doesn't want to date a celebrity, but eventually she gets a job where she has to spend 6 weeks alone with this gorgeous rock star, and of course it's their romance. A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston comes out on June 25th. So this is another magical realism love story like Ashley is known to do nowadays. This is a book about a reader that gets stuck inside a book, and she needs to find a way out, but I'm pretty sure she's gonna fall in love with one of the characters in the book. This sounds like my dream, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love this book. I didn't really love The 7-Year Slip, even though a lot of people did, so hopefully this one will be an Ashley Poston that I will love. Another book that comes out on June 25th is Tangled Up in You by Christina Lauren. So technically this is part of a series, but it's like these standalone series written, like standalone books written by different authors, and they all revolve fairy tale retellings. And this is a Tangled retelling, which is one of my favorite Disney movies, by the way. So she has been living without internet for like the 22 years that she's been alive, and he is a criminal. And say less, I love that. Like I said, Tangled is one of my favorite books, so hopefully this is gonna give me all the vibes of the movie. Hopefully I'm gonna love this one. So far, the early reviews are pretty good. And the last standalone / first book in series is Filthy Rich Fae by Geneva Lee. So this is about a woman whose brother gets tangled up in this like dangerous fae world, and she begs the dark forbidden prince of New Orleans for her brother's life. And he's as lethal as he is beautiful, and he's interested in her soul. So this is a fantasy romance about fae, and it sounds very interesting. Now for the sequels, like I said, some of them I haven't read any of the books in the series, and I'm just going to tell you the title, the author obviously, which book in the series it is, and when it comes out, and I will have all the links down below. The first one is Burn of the Everflame by Penn Cole. This one comes out on June 1st, and it's the fourth and I think final book in the Kindred Curse series, the first one being Spark of the Everflame. So this is a fantasy romance series that has recently been getting a lot of raving reviews. So I have heard a lot of things about it, and it's very, like, I'm very interested in it. Next is the sequel to Butcher and Blackbird. So Leather and Lark by Bryn Weaver comes out on June 4th, and this is the second book in the Ruinous Love trilogy. And I believe you follow the brother of the hero from the first book, so I believe this is another serial killer romance. Fate of the Sun King by Nisha J. Tooley, which comes out on June 4th. This is the third book in the Artifacts of Urano series, the first one being Trial of the Sun Queen, and this is another fantasy romance, as you can probably tell by the cover. And this one, I think I said, also comes out on June 4th. Another book that comes out on June 4th is Isabel and the Rogue by Liana de la Rosa, and this is the second book in the Luna Sisters series, the first one being Ana Maria and the Fox, which actually hasn't gotten the best reviews, so hopefully this one will be better, I guess. Next is one I am very, very excited about, and it's God of War by Rena Kent. This is the sixth and final book in her Legacy of the Gods series, and it comes out on June 13th. And the first book is God of Malice. Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher comes out on June 18th, and this is the second book in her Lakefront Billionaires, the first book being Love Redesigned. Honeycut by Sierra Simone comes out on June 18th. This is the second book in the Lioness series by her, the first book being Salt Kiss. 1,000 Broken Pieces by Tilly Cole comes out on June 20th, and this is the long-awaited sequel to 1,000 Boy Kisses, which that book actually came out in 2016, so it is 8 years later that this one comes out. I don't know how I feel about that one. First of all, I have not read 1,000 Boy Kisses, but to me this feels like a TikTok sequel, but I mean, what do I know? All I know is that 1,000 Boy Kisses came out before TikTok. I do know that this is a very popular TikTok book, and now all of a sudden it has a sequel. Anyway, moving on. Pucking Sweet by Emily Rath comes out on June 25th, and this is the third book in her Jacksonville Ray series, and the first book being Pucking Around, and this is a MFM, I'm pretty sure. Oh, that was it. I thought I had another book, but those were all the books that are coming out in June, the ones that I know of. Definitely let me know in the comments below if you know of any other books that are coming out in June that you're very excited about. I know I don't have a lot of indie books in here, so if you know of a good indie release, leave that in the comments below. And I would also really love to know what are the books that you're looking forward to most that are coming out in June. Mine are definitely God of War and Not in Love. Those two I'm definitely going to be reading in June. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know by leaving a like if you did. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.